shifting focus to another piece of news that's coming in. This is the big international news story that's coming in. Now, amid the security operation against Hezbollah in Lebanon, there is pressure on Israel after the IDF opened fire on UN peacekeepers in Lebanon. The United Nations interim force in Lebanon has hit out at Israel, saying, and I quote, "Any deliberate attack on peacekeepers is a grave violation of international humanitarian law and of Security Council Resolution 1701. Recent escalation along the Blue Line is causing widespread destruction of towns and villages in South Lebanon, while rockets continue to be launched towards Israel, including civilian areas." End quote is the pitch coming in from the United Nations forces. To get more details, I'm joined by my colleague Siddhant Mishra on the broadcast, who's been tracking all the developments coming in as the Central Asian war only escalates and tensions continue in the Middle East. Siddhant, give us the details.
Well, Ayushman, so there have been series of posts that have been made by Unifil on social media platform X, and perhaps they have in a way warned IDF and other actors in Lebanon for obligation to ensure safety and security of UN personnel and property. In fact, Unifil has also alleged, and in fact they are claiming that IDF has fired upon their site in which two peacekeepers got injured. In one of the buildings, the cameras of the building got damaged. In fact, there was a bunker in which Unifil peacekeepers used to take shelter. The entrance of the bunker was hit by the IDF. So such are the claims that have been made by Unifil. And in fact, we are still awaiting response from IDF about the claims that Unifil has made. And Unifil has in a way warned and also told all the actors in Lebanon to for the obligation to ensure safety and security of UN personnel and property. And also, interestingly, Ayushman would like to highlight here that 900 Indian troops are also the part of Unifil. Right now, there is no such report available with the government of India. But if the situation remains so, and if this claim that Unifil is making stands correct, then perhaps it could create trouble for the government of India, because in that scenario, it means that the safety of our troops, Indian troops in Unifil, is at a risk, and perhaps that could be the major concern for the government of India in days to come. But right now, it looks like in Lebanon, it's not only Hezbollah versus IDF, but if talk about narrative, it has also become Unifil versus IDF. Any which ways, we know that Israel has declared Antonio Guterres as persona non grata. In fact, his entry to Israel has also been banned. So the differences between Israel and United Nations is something which is perhaps is very much in public domain, and Israel has been making allegations of Antonio Guterres siding more with Palestinian cause and also Lebanon, etc., etc. So that is an allegation that Israel keeps making. Now, in those scenarios, if Unifil sites are being targeted by IDF, or for that matter, the claims stand corrected, and this is a reality, perhaps it's not a good sign.
Absolutely. But at the same time, Siddhant, we were discussing this yesterday after that conversation between Benjamin Netanyahu and US President Joe Biden, and Kamala Harris was also part of that conversation. As Israel mulls that reaction and that counter strategy against Iran after the ballistic missile attack, the United States, being the big power player in the United Nations as well as on the global stage, seems to be trying to stay out of the entire narrative war that is emerging between Israel and the United Nations.
Look, Ayushman, right now, it looks like since President Biden is out of the political work that he was handling till June, unless he decides to step down and hand over the baton to Kamala Harris. Now he is focusing more on perhaps leaving a legacy behind. And leaving a legacy behind, if I say, then the framework of it is to try for a peace in Middle East. And he and his entire team is working on that. And I'm told that they are in close coordination with Qatar, who is mediating with the players in the Middle East, or perhaps speaking to Iran on behalf of US. And the idea is that since after November 5th, once US will get the new president, there is again going to be a window till January when US president will actually attend the swearing in and will take over the charge. Till then, there would be another window, and that window is perhaps very effective, and America could utilize that window to in a way, convince Netanyahu to stop the war or bring both the parties on the table. So that is also something which right now US is trying for, and in fact President Biden is personally involved in that exercise. Kamala Harris was also very much part of the conversation because that has added weightage to the conversation which took place yesterday.
Right.
So let's see what happens, Ayushman. But situation is too fluid, too dynamic, and right now, nobody knows what happens tomorrow.
Absolutely, but the tensions continue to escalate between Israel and the United Nations now that the IDF has opened fire on UN peacekeeping forces. Remember, as my colleague Siddhant was pointing out, 900 Indian troops are part of those peacekeeping forces in Lebanon. So clearly the global dynamics surrounding this entire matter is also shifting. So far, no reaction coming in from the IDF, from the United States, and even the Indian government in the wake of this incident. But